guys, Shemar here. Long time no see. No see. No see. Nosy. If you're new here, hey, how you doing? It's me, Shemar. Hey. And if you're not new here, then welcome back. I wanted to tell you guys a story, but not just any story. Oh no, this is not just any story. This is the master of all stories. This is the story that will boost other stories and make them feel so sad about how unstory they are. It's just a regular story. I wanted to tell the story here because I feel like it's a major part of my life and it's a major part of who I am, and you guys are also a major part of me and who I am, and I just wanted to connect those two. I wanted to take the major part of my life and I wanted to take YouTube, another major part of my life, and put it together and form something. Yeah. Plus, I feel like if I never told the story here, then I would never be able to fully be myself. I feel like I'm always holding something back, and I feel like I have a lot of stories that I haven't told. There's a lot of things about me, and I feel like this is, we're cool enough, you know? Like, we're chill. We're chill. We're friends. So I feel like, if I didn't explain that to you guys, then we wouldn't be, good enough friends. And we are. We're not breaking up, I swear. I promise. We're good. So enough of this, let me go ahead and tell you the story. Now, at the time the situation was happening, I was in a really bad place. I was feeling really crappy, and I feel like I couldn't have explained the situation, objectively. I couldn't explain it correctly. I feel like there would have been a lot of hard feelings and a lot of emotional crap that would have gotten in the way of me actually explaining the story without being, weird and rude about it. So I had to wait until I was in a better place. So this story begins at about my sophomore year in high school. That year was about the first year that I actually really got into the performing arts. I know my freshman year I was in Peter Pan for the play, and I didn't do the musical because I had really bad grades. Something that never changed, but sophomore year is the year that I really got into performing arts. And I met a lot of really cool people. I met a lot of, chill dudes, like, word. And at this point in time, I met a really cool dude. Let's call him Jim. I love it when YouTubers are always like, let's call them such and such. Like, what if I wanted to call him something else? Like, what if I had a different idea in my head? Like, let's call him Andy. Yeah, ha, funny. I'm gonna call him Eduardo the Third. How you feel about that? Anyways, Jim and I weren't originally friends, but there was something really cool that I saw in him that reminded me a lot of myself, and so I really wanted to be friends with him. So towards the end of the year, he and I really bonded over the musical that we were in. So now we fast forward all the way into the beginning of my junior year and his senior year. So over the previous summer, Jim and I were brainstorming over what we wanted to do for this year's district competition. Now, if you don't know what district competition is, then you're an idiot, and that sucks for you. No, I'm kidding. If you don't know what that is, it's a district level competition in which everyone in every aspect of theater gets to come to learn, compete, create, and ultimately just have fun and make friends and enjoy a space where you can be with a bunch of thespians who want to do the same thing that you do. Now, Jim and I were going to take a duet acting piece, and since it was his senior year, we needed to make sure that was the best. We needed to pick the best, the absolute best scene. It was life or death. I'm not joking. We fit both of the characters really well. It was a really powerful scene. It was fantastic, and we were really happy and excited that we found it. There was only one small problem. And it wasn't as much a problem as it was like, oh shit, this is kind of awkward. In the scene, the two characters share a kiss. And we were like, oh shit, this is kind of awkward. But at the time, we were best friends. We were really close, so we just laughed it off and we were like, oh yeah, this is fine, it's just a scene, it's whatever. So we practiced the scene a lot, and we decided to save the kiss for the actual audition. And at the time, I was like, Yeah, duh, obviously. Let's just save the kiss for the actual audition. Duh. Like, yeah, gross. I don't want to kiss you anyways. Gross. So the day comes for the audition and we're pumped. Like, we're so freaking excited. We do that scene and we have passion. We have all the passion in the world. We're burning with passion, bleeding with passion, overcome with passion. Then the time comes. The time for my best friend in the whole world to lay one on me. The old kisseroo. The old smooch bob big square pants. So he goes ahead and he kisses me, and my theater director is like, "Oh wow, kiss!" And we're all like, "Woo, we did the scene!" So we said thank you. We're formal and all that. We ran out of the room. We were like high fiving. We were so excited. We were a little like weirded out because we just like kissed, and it was like, oh my god. But we were excited because we did the scene really well. Now the next thing that happened was so weird. Like I feel like it came out of a movie. Like I felt like I was in a movie at that time. Not a good one. Not a good movie. A really sad movie. But I felt like I was in a movie. So Jim went off and he was all excited, and I sat back in the wing area. Like he called to me. Like he said something to me, but I didn't really understand what he was saying because I was just sitting there and I just felt weird. Like not like the weird like, oh my god, I just kissed my best friend and it was like weird, but like a weird like I just felt like a different person. Like this is the moment where like everything was totally different. It was just different because I didn't feel the same. I felt totally new. I felt like the time before that and the time I was at now, I felt like it was just two different lives. I can't really explain it, but that's how I felt. But despite all of that, I knew one thing. I liked Jim. Like I liked him. And it wasn't just the kiss, it was everything that led up to that. It just made so much more sense. Like why I wanted to be his friend so bad, and why I jumped at the opportunity when he wanted to do a scene for districts, and why I wasn't totally uncomfortable with the idea of kissing him for the scene. I guess the kiss just kind of woke me up. So now I had the secret that I was keeping from my best friend. And that felt so great. Now let's warp through space and time just one more time. So we end up midway throughout the same year, and our scene made it. So, remember when I said that I liked Jim? Yeah. Haha.
Not for long. Woo!
That like quickly spread throughout your boy's heart, and I was full-blown in love with him by the middle of my junior year. I guess I started acting differently around him, and he started to take notice. Not only was I in love with him, I had to deal with the fact that, hey, you've got no chance with your best friend who's had a girlfriend since, I don't know, all of high school. LOL swag, am I right? Cool, nice.
Love it.
I just knew that I loved him, and I couldn't do anything about it, and I was withholding this truth, and it made me feel really, really crappy. I just couldn't ever feel happy. Then I started to make it more noticeable that I was acting differently around him. I didn't mean to, but I made it a lot more noticeable. There was one week where I just didn't talk to him. Like, I noticeably did not talk to him. He would try to talk to me, he would try to look at me, I would look away, and I just wouldn't talk to him. And I did that because I thought it would help. It didn't. So one night he drove me home from this football game and told me that he really wanted to talk to me and asked me why I was so upset. And I told him that I couldn't talk to him about it, that I need to deal with it on my own. So after all that, he texted me later that night, and I knew what was coming. The way he was talking to me lately was less of an unknown concern, and it was more of a dread for the truth. So he was texting me that night, and he was telling me to just talk to him, to just let him know what's going on, to tell him why I'm so upset, and I was just denying my upset feelings left and right. I was like, I'm okay, I'll deal with it, I'm good, I'm alright, I'm fine. So finally, he asked me that stupid question, that stupid freaking question that I knew he was going to ask me. He freaking asked it. He asked me if I was gay. Now before I met Jim, I wasn't 100% sure on that answer myself. Of course I had girlfriends, and of course I was really attracted to guys, but I just didn't know any answer whatsoever. I was never really open about it, and it wasn't because I was scared, it was more because I had never felt so strongly about a guy before, so I felt no need to really express how I felt when there wasn't like I didn't feel the need to like express that, like there wasn't really anything important. Until now. So I lied to him. I told him no, I told him that I wasn't gay, that I've never felt that way about anyone before, that it was crazy for him to insist, that I was just feeling sad, and that it was weird for him to ask me if I was gay. Like, it made no sense. To save you some time, eventually he did find out that I had feelings for him, and he found out that I lied. And we had a really rough falling out. And we didn't have a falling out because of how I felt about him. That wasn't in any way the problem. We had a falling out because I lied to him. Because I wasn't honest with him. I didn't tell him how I felt, and I was just really closed off about it. And yeah, we both had faults here and there, but ultimately, I lied to him. We went in and out of being friends throughout the rest of my junior year. We were friends, then we weren't, then we were friends, then he was really mad at me, and I was really mad at him, and then we were friends again, and then it was this insane cycle. But it was just because I was so in love with him, and I didn't know how to deal with that. It wasn't until he left and graduated that I really felt that I could breathe. That I could finally, like, just exist and not feel so bad. Like, obviously, when I didn't like just up and like, wow, feeling's gone, because he's gone and I'm feeling great. It actually took me a really, really long time for me to not feel that way about him anymore. So yeah, I rate that time in my life a whopping 2 out of 10. 2.5 out of 2.4 out of 10. It was a great time. I'm just glad that I'm not at that point in my life anymore, and I'm glad that I don't feel so sad anymore about that. Because let me tell you, that was a painful year. But I learned a lot from it, and with that I was able to grow my senior year. And now I look back on that stupid kiss scene as my big wake-up call. I look back on it as the moment where I was able to open my eyes and be freaking honest with myself. And, you know, now that feels good. So thank you, Jim. You're a real one. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you guys learned a little something. This wasn't really me like teaching you or telling you, or I just wanted to like explain that part of myself because it's so important for me. I've wanted to do a video where I, you know, talk about how I feel and what's, you know, in here, right there. But there was no like true way for me to explain who I am and why I am without that story. But yeah, if you guys learn anything, or if you have questions, or if you've ever felt the same way about something like that, just talk to me. You can hit me up on my Twitter. I'm very active on that. You can add me on Snapchat if you want to. You can, you know, add me on Instagram. Definitely add me on Instagram. I'm very active on all 3 of those social media accounts. You can just hit me up there, talk to me, and, you know, yeah. Thank you guys for sitting through such a long story about me that you didn't have to sit through. I love you all very much. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, share it with your friends and family. Maybe not your friends and family, because I don't want them to see my horrible content. And yeah, and I will see you guys when I see you. Bye.